Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Shadow Stitch, your coach of the Charlotte Chandelures, and today we're going to be kicking off our coverage for the Pokemon Draft Dynasty Season 3. So yeah, we're back in the PDD. We did pretty well last season, made it all the way to semifinals, which is not too shabby. I'll take a top 4. Would really like to push a little bit farther this time, and I think we have a pretty strong team to do it, and that's what we're here to showcase today. So PDD was pretty awesome. We got a lot of great competition here as usual, and just overall it looks like going to be a really fun time this season. So everything is pretty standard though. We got 8 weeks, 16 players, top 8 make playoffs, 110 points, and then we get to select 10 to 11 Pokemon. However, the thing that sets the PDD apart is how they choose to do Terra Captains. So we do have a Terra Captain budget and a 12-point threshold, so anything under 12 points outside of a few wild cards can Terra. However, you have to pay extra points for Terra types. So for example, if you want a Terra Fairy, which is of course a very good Terra type to have, you have to pay an extra 3 points. Whereas if you wanted something like Terra Bug, which is not the best, you know, certainly usable, but on certain Pokemon, but not the best overall, that is only 1 point. And then one of your stabs is, you know, allowed to be for free, which is kind of cool. So stabs are also not required in this season, where they were last season, which is pretty cool. I'm very happy with that. So just a nice little updated change. So overall, very unique kind of Terra Captain rules, and I really like that, and I think it's very enjoyable. So but yeah, enough about all that though. Let's go ahead and finally take a look at the team that I drafted this season. First up, we got the big bird himself, Tornadus Therian. So Tornadus Therian, I have not been able to draft yet this generation. It's really fast, gives me that elite speed tier like I usually like to have. Pretty much anything above 120 is really nice. Has an amazing move pool, got pretty much all of its tools back. Of course, it doesn't have defog anymore, but that's fine. You know, it's definitely really bulky. Regenerator is amazing. U-turn, knockoff. Bleak Windstorm is a nice little upgrade for it. You know, we can still go Hurricane if we really want a little bit of extra power, but overall it's pretty nice. So Regenerator Tornadus is just overall a really nice, fast, strong option and gives me some great speed control right off the bat. For our second pick, we chose to run it back with quite possibly my favorite draft Pokemon of all time, Excadrill. That's right, my big man is back. So I love Excadrill. It is easily my top performing Pokemon of my entire draft league career. I love it so much. It's so fun to use. I just think I use it really well. It's just one of those Pokemon that I really vibe with. Gives me great hazard control with Rapid Spin, great speed control with Sand Rush. Spoiler alert, we're getting sand again, just like last season. But overall, it's just a super powerful Pokemon, and I am so happy to have my man back. After that, though, we're going to switch gears into something I have never drafted before and have always wanted to. Grapple. So we got a second Regenerator Pokemon on the team, which is looking really cool. It's very bulky. Sure, it's slow, but it hits like an absolute truck with those special hits. Maybe we can have some fun with Fickle Beam. That seems kind of neat overall, but it's definitely just going to be a nice bulky Pokemon. Regenerator is great on it. Dropping Dracos, firing off moves and stuff like that, and just being a great defensive grass and dragon type. So we got our steel type, we got our dragon type. Now it's time for our fairy, and you can't get much better than Sylveon. That's right. So Sylveon is absolutely fantastic, and I think it fit this team pretty dang well. Now I've been pretty popular using like Florges, and Florges was cheaper, but I felt Sylveon kind of fit this team a little bit better because of course we do have sand, so giving Sylveon a little bit of extra coverage with like Weather Ball, Rock Weather Ball is kind of nice. You'll hit those fire types and stuff like that, but you know, you didn't hear that from me, you know, giving away the technology too soon, I guess. But overall though, I think it's just a really cool Pokemon. I think Sylveon is a great Pokemon. It can go offensive. It can, tank special hits for days. You can run it physically defensive. You can go Calm Mind. You can just wish Baton Pass, because of course we can Dry Pass in this league. And it hits like a truck with Pixelate, Hyper Voice and stuff like that, which is really cool. So overall, though, very happy to have my boy Sylveon back, and definitely looking forward to using it yet again. I'm going to catch a lot of hate for this, but we got a third Regenerator Pokemon because we're bringing in Tox Apex. I don't think I've ever actually drafted Tox Apex before, but, you know, it fit really well. Not only gives me that grounded poison for that hazard control and stuff like that, but gives me, of course, another Regenerator mon in the core, a bulky water type. You know, bulk is legendary on this Pokemon. Sure, it lost a lot of options. You know, it doesn't have Scald, doesn't have Knockoff and stuff like that, but we can still set up Toxic Spikes, still can spread Toxics and stuff like that, you know, for Baneful Bunker on those physical attackers and stuff like that. And just overall, just be a really bulky, reliable core piece of the team. And just like we finished the other core, we got to finish this one now. And with Rotom Heat filling the fire spot, it's looking pretty strong. So I've used Rotom Heat a couple times in the past. It's not my favorite Rotom form. Shout outs to Rotom Mo, by the way. But it is actually really solid here, in my opinion. So the electric fire typing, completely unique. Levitate is amazing on it. We don't have to worry about the best mold breaker mon in the game because we have the best mold breaker mon in the game. So that's cool. We can just spread burns and stuff like that. We can Volt Switch. We can just be generally annoying and bulky. And can even go offensive because, of course, Nasty Plot is really powerful on Rotom for sure. So overall, though, very cool little option right here. And I think it fills out the typings really well. All right, you know it was coming. Let's get him on in here. Big T-Tar, baby. Bringing in the stand. Giving us our dark typing as well. Very important. But, of course, Sand with Drill, with my Regenerator core and stuff like that. Sand plus Regen is quite possibly my favorite playstyle in all of Draft. I don't know. It just clicks with me. I've won one draft league with it already back in the last generation. I do pretty well with Sand so far this generation. And then just bringing in the Regenerator core plus the Sand like I had last season, it's going to be really powerful and really strong in my opinion. So, but yeah, there's not really a whole lot else to say about Tyranitar. Insanely good Pokemon, insane move pool, sets up rocks, does damage, has knockoff now. You know, you know what to expect from this big guy. Next up, though, we got to grab our first Terra Captain, and we're going to go with Loix. So Loix is looking really cool. I actually swapped for it in a low-tier draft league that I took over a team for, and it is really strong. It's very fun to use as well. You know, sure, all you do is maybe click U-turn all the time, but you know, there's something to be said about just having that option. It's just a really powerful U-turn. Tinted Lens is absolutely broken. Our Terra types are going to be Bug, Fairy, and Fire. Just great spammable types right there, especially with Tinted Lens. Tinted Lens, Fairy, Terra Blast is just stupid. So there's that. And just overall, Loix is going to be a great Scarfer, going to be a great Choice Bander, gives a strong priority with first impression as well, and just overall going to be a great solid Terra Captain. We're running low on points, and we do have a little bit of a speed gap going on, so I'm going to try to patch that up with our next pick, Frostlass. So Ice and Ghost typing is actually pretty dang solid. You know, strong offensive Ice type is great, and Ghost is really solid, so we can spin block. Because we do have some decent hazards on this team so far. And just overall, just a great lead Pokemon. Can potentially, you know, just remove a threat off the board with something like a Destiny Bond taunt set. And just overall, just gives us a nice little speed gap fill right here at 110 base speed. So not really expecting the world from Frostlass, but it is a pretty reliable, decent little Pokemon. So we got 2 points left, and I looked down there and I saw our next pick, and it's going to be our second Terra Captain, Propass. So yeah, Propass is actually pretty cool. Of course, 140 base defense plus body press is really strong. One of our Terra types is fighting as well, so that's really cool. I also got Terra Water, which is looking pretty solid, and Terra Ghost, which, you know, just helps cover its weaknesses pretty well. So overall, though, this is just a really fun Terra Captain. I think, you know, we can go Iron Defense, Body Press sets. We can, you know, just go Magnet Pull if we see a pesky Steel type that we don't want to deal with, then and stuff like that. We got Sturdy. We even got Sand Force to take advantage of our own sand, which is really cool. So overall, though, I really like Propass. I think it's just gonna be a lot of fun, and I think it's actually kind of slept on down there at 2 points. I think it's pretty cool. So overall, though, that's about it for Propass. Not really a whole lot to say, but I am expecting something from him this season. So there you go. That's my team for this season. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. This looks like a pretty cool team. So I'll get some strong Terra Captains. Loix is looking really powerful as a Terra Captain, and Propass just looks like a lot of fun. And on top of all of that, I have, you know, my favorite playstyle probably in draft with Sand Regen. So overall, though, that is going to be it for me today. Thank y'all so much for stopping by and watching. And I hope you guys are as excited as I am to start the next season of the PDD. So with that said, thank you all so much for stopping by. Like, comment, sub, all that fun stuff. I love you all. Deuces.